We'll get started on this and we'll finish it up tomorrow before the game or on tomorrow's show. But this is year 5 already for Dan Campbell and the boys. New offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Their season win total is at 10.5. They got a brutal schedule. Look at that. But the Lions have the most rest advantage this season. 19 games over the course of this season. They have a 19-day rest advantage over their opponents. They don't have one game that they play where they have a negative rest edge. Oh no, they do. They only have one right here, and that's Cleveland. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games where they have a rest advantage, a net 7 games total. That's going to be huge for them as they have a lot tougher schedule this year. So they open up against Green Bay, and then Chicago, and then they're on the road in Baltimore, home against Cleveland. That's a pretty tough stretch to start the season, especially when you got new coordinators and new pieces coming in. And then home against Cleveland, at Cincy, at Arrowhead, taking on the Chiefs, and then home against the Bucks before their Week 8 bye. A lot of primetime games too. What, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thanksgiving, Thursday Night Football, and then Christmas. Ugh, that's tough. But after their bye, take on the Vikings, then the Commandos, Eagles, Giants, Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears. That is a tough ending to the season too. Look at that. They got to play tough last 4 games. They finished the season on the road. Look at 3 of their last 4 games away, home, away, away. 3 of the 4 are away. So if they head into, they don't have the number 1 overall seed. They might be. I mean, granted, they'll probably win their division if they're good, but I bet the Vikings to win the division. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but think about that. If they're a wild card team, that means they've been on the road 3 of the last 4 weeks, and then they got to go on the road in the round 1 of the playoffs. Ooh, not good. That's a tough 6 for sure. Yeah, tough 7 actually. I mean, Monday Night Football against the Bucks isn't going to be easy. The Bucks, their defense is scrappy, right? That is a tough stretch there. Key players they lost. Carlton Davis went to the Patriots. Yes. Zadarius Smith, Kevin Zeitler. Who else? Who else did they lose? They were already struggling on the defensive side of the ball with all their injuries. They lost a lot of cornerbacks, interior defensive linemen. Ooh, that's not good. They lost Teddy Bridgewater. How are they ever going to recover from that? I think I hear something. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me play this again for you. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. But you can watch this again. Highlight from the show.
Any triple in the series? Yes. I almost want to bet no triple plus 125.
That's a good. I would bet that.
I got to leave these in the little list over here so I remember to bet these.
That's a good bet.
I am going to bet that for sure, 100%.
Because how often does a triple happen? And 2, most of the time it's just someone taking a base on a throw.
This is my favorite bet in the entire World Series.
I do like that.
No triples in the World Series plus 125. That's my favorite bet in the entire World Series.
A few moments later.
Think about 3 as Verdugo can't play it cleanly. Freeman's into third. A base hit turns into 3.
Yeah!
Who's retarded now?
Yeah!
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Apologies. Thought I heard one of my little ones up. I got my 3-year-old caught the summer flu bug. He was eyes were watering, nose stuffed up, snot everywhere yesterday when I got home. I'm like, how are you sick? But thought I heard him. Anyways, key free agents they added. They addressed the defensive side of the ball. Signed DJ Reed, cornerback, for $16 million a year. And then a bunch of just cheap contracts. Roy Lopez, lineman, defensive lineman. Grant Stewart, Avante Maddox, Kenny Yeboah, and Rocky Sin. Players they drafted, defensive first round, number 28 overall. They took a defensive tackle, really focusing on the defensive side of the ball. Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Got a guard in the second round, Tate Ratledge out of Georgia. Wide receiver Isaiah Kaslaw out of Arkansas. And some guys in the later rounds. Not much going on in the draft there for them. In last year's Lions chapter, the graphic on page 2 showed the offensive ranked top 10 in every one of the 13 critical offensive metrics except for explosive rushing. It's rare for a team to be elite in so many metrics, especially those with high variance such as third downs and red zone performances. But, Dan Campbell loves to go for it. He loves to go for it. You can have a great offense that got unlucky in the red zone, for example, and ranked below average. Happens all the time. However, the 23 Lions ranked top 10 across the board, and most of the time in the top 5. But in 24, the Lions did something I didn't think was possible. They improved offensively in every single one of those metrics. That is insane. So 2 years in a row now, they've been elite, top tier, which makes me think it can't keep happening. But can it? Maybe this team is just built different. But Ben Johnson's got to remember that. Of the 13 critical offensive advanced metrics on the next page, which include early down efficiency, overall efficiency, and multiple passing and rushing metrics, including explosiveness, yards per point, third down, red zone performance, the Lions' offense was better than it was in 23. They ranked top 3 in 11 of the 13 metrics. Third down offense and pass blocking efficiency were the only 2 areas where they ranked outside the top 3. In drive metrics, also on the next page, the 23 Lions were number 4 in points per drive, number 3 in touchdowns per drive, and number 4 in yards per drive. We know the Lions like to score, and they can score. We know they can score. The Lions improved to number 1 in the first 2 metrics and number 2 in yards per drive. This all came against the NFL's 15th toughest schedule of defense. Was extremely impressive in what ultimately turned out to be offensive coordinator Ben Johnson's final season with the Lions. Can they recover from their last game? I don't know, man. That one I don't know. Losing against the Commandos in your first playoff game at home? That's tough. Improving the way the Lions did was not luck. It was coaching and execution with a little bit of luck. There's always a little bit of luck. I mean, the reason my Lions fell off last year, too, was the defensive side of the ball, not the offensive, defensive side of the ball, in my humble opinion, with all those key injuries that they had. I mean, they were just like, well, we have to be good on offense. That's why they were so good on. They had to be good on offense because they knew their defense couldn't stop anything. Jonathan shifted number 30 in early down pass rate in 24, ranking 21 and 23, becoming as close to 50-50 as you possibly can get to keep defenses always guessing. They ran a 3 wide receiver, 2 tight end set 55% of the time in 23, but 49% of the time in 24. Look at that. Then they also reduced their shotgun rate. 49% of the time, the Lions were in 2023, 49% of the time they were in shotgun, only 36% of the time, about a little over 1/3 of the time. I guess Goff wasn't under center a lot. Being down at a 36% shotgun rate is rare. The NFL average last season was 65. I feel like everyone's in shotgun now. All the motions and everything that everyone's doing. 36% was the lowest of any team since 2021. Most teams run the ball a lot more when they're under center. The NFL average last year was 33% pass, but Johnson had the Lions at the number 4 highest rate team 40% of the time to get closer to that 50-50 split. What was the purpose of all their tinkering? Therein lies the brilliance. Ooh, brilliance. How many games are the Lions favored in this year? 1. Doesn't that week 1 feel like a trap against the Packers? They're 1.5 point dogs in Green Bay. But let's see, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of their games, and their season win totals at 10.5. 12 of their games, they're preseason favored in 12 games. So look at headlines. That'll change. In 23 early down pass attempts, Goff delivered much better efficiency when using play action. Okay. But because Goff had 3+ wide receivers on the field and operated from shotgun, Goff had just 77 play action dropbacks compared to 150 dropbacks without play action. Almost exactly double the dropbacks without play action. You know what I'm going to fall for so many times like I do every year? The sun god, Amon-Ra. St. Brown, touchdown. He's my favorite, even though I should just look at Laporta. Correction, the Redskins. That's right. The whole league feels like a trap this season. I know. Something funky is going to happen. Every year, something funky happens. And last year, with all the favorites and stuff, we had some upsets early on, and then it was like all the favorites won. The books got smashed for the first 9 weeks of the season with all those money line favorite parlays. That's not going to happen again. It's just going to be tough to be able to tell when. But that's why you tune into the show, because we're going to figure it out. Goff shifted from ranking 19 in play action usage in 23 to number 4 in 24. Not only were the passes more efficient, but the offense was harder to distinguish by defenses, which, these NFL defenses have a whole offseason to study that tape. We know the NFL, it's hard to be successful year after year because these defenses or these coordinators are so good at taking what you did last year. And they got a new coordinator, so who knows if he's going to be able to do what Ben Johnson did. If you sell out to play pass and it's a run, you're dead. Bring an extra body up to help with the run where Goff is under center from heavy personnel. Then you get Jameson Williams is dunking on the crossbar. They got a lot of weapons, man. As a result, not only did the Lions rank number 1 in shortest average distance to go on third down, but that's another thing too. They were never in third and long. They're also great at skipping third downs. The Lions ranked number 2 in rate at which set of downs led to third down. The Lions ranked number 2 in first down rate on early downs. Another massive lift for the 24 Lions came on the ground, and it was a result of elevating Jahmyr Gibbs to running back 1. This is my favorite part. We're going to make the argument, or he's going to make the argument of why you should bet over or under on their win total. So here's why you should bet under 10.5 wins on the Lions 2025 season. Based on Vegas forecasted win totals, the Lions are set to face the league's 3rd hardest schedule in 25 compared to the 12th hardest in 24. The Lions 25 draft class is valued 26% lower than the league average, particularly due to their decision not to prioritize their perceived needs in terms of pass rush. Detroit opted to blitz at the 4th highest rate last season, but they found success on just 6.1% of those attempts, which ranked 28th in the league, notching just 37 sacks. Detroit has failed to sign any free agents and note to address this problem, opting only to draft Boise State edge rusher Ahmad Hassan in the 6th round to support Aiden Hutchinson, who is returning from an injury. They also released Zadarius Smith before his final year of his contract. The Lions allowed an average of 244 passing yards per game in 24, the 3rd most in the league. They also surrendered plays of 20-plus yards on the 3rd highest rate. Ooh, that's something interesting to look at. Over, under longest touchdowns on the Lions, on Lions games. That might be a good bet. But here's the positive side of things. Here's why you should bet over 10.5 wins on the Lions 2025 season. The Lions ran the NFL's most efficient offense in 24, as evidenced by their league's highs in offensive success rate, down set conversion, and points per game average. While former OC Ben Johnson left this offseason, the key weapons who spearheaded that offensive success remain on the roster. The two-pronged rushing attack of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery is expected to return in full force this year after an MCL injury ended Montgomery's 24 regular season in Week 15. Detroit relied on the run 31.4 times per game on average, which was the third most in the league, resulting in 4.7 yards per rush and 29 touchdowns, which was second most in the league. Although the 24 defense was not as stout against the run as it was in 23, it still managed to get the job done effectively. Lions held opponents on average up to 98.4 yards on the ground in the regular season. While they did not get a ton of sacks, the Lions ranked 6th in pressure rate, and that was with Aiden Hutchinson playing just 5 games. Yeah, getting Aiden Hutchinson back some key. I'm surprised they didn't say anything here about their rest advantage. Surprised they didn't talk about their rest advantage, but we will get the rest of this tomorrow, my friends. We'll get the rest of this